Okay, yeah, another day, another time. Welcome back. It's Saturday morning, and I just wanted to do this quick broadcast. Let's go. Mm, mm, mm. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome again to this weekend show. It's been a crazy week. I can't even now start to tell you how this week has been so much more eventful. The news cycle was not just stopping. It was so crazy that it was just from one to another. We saw what started as the verdict on Nnamdi Kanu. He was sentenced to life imprisonment this week by the federal judge, Justice Omotosho. And there was a lot of back and forth. At some point, it was let out of the courtroom because he wouldn't just stop talking. And that came off as kind of rude, and the judge didn't like it. But in his statement, the judge said it wasn't even considering that. He was given a life sentence. And I believe that Nnamdi Kanu is currently the team is currently working on the appeal. So I'm looking forward to having the appeal done possibly on Monday. I've not been caught up with any news from that. If anything happens, the rulings is going to be appealed. The wife also spoke. We saw that Bianca Ojukwu, the wife of the late Colonel Ojukwu, also spoke, urging the Igbo people and the people of the Southeast to keep calm as they work things around the old intricacies of the law. And that was that with Nnamdi Kanu. Just before we could move on for that trending news, we also saw what happened. You know, what happened was the kidnapping in Kebbi State. We had around 25 students, went to majority Muslims who were kidnapped just like that. And before we could even say what the hell happened, boom, there was a Kwara church attack where you could see them live streaming their services. And then you saw those terrorists come in, the bandits came in and arrested, I think, 38 people. Kidnapped them and then stole all their monies, their belongings, and the Lord live in a church service. That was crazy. And while the nation was still grappling around what has happened, there were other pockets of violence reported around the rice farmer, 4 of them killed, other ministers or priests kidnapped and all that. Before we could say what the hell happened, just on Friday morning, students in Niger State private Catholic school, around 52 of them. There are reports saying that there are actually more than 52, but then I'm just going to go with the official numbers. As of now, they were also being kidnapped. And yeah, that was that. Back to what was happening in the West, we saw the Saudi prince visited the White House with Donald Trump, and it was quite an interesting exchange to see all that happened there. The questioning about Saudi's prince involvement in the killing of Khashoggi, that's one of the Washington Post journalists, also was being asked, and we saw how the Trump tried to shield the prince with respect to that questioning. And finally, also the fight between the new mayor of New York, Mad Money, and Trump seems to be getting to a point of settlement. Hopefully, I don't know what happens after this, but we saw the the newly elected mayor of New York visit the White House. Now, while I was doing my stream yesterday night, thanks for all those that joined. It was really a very good one. And even the one the day before, there was this movie that just came out. It's called The Herd movie, just depicting what is currently happening right now. The Herd, that's the title of the movie. Now, people are trying to kick back saying that we're being programmed. It's like we're in a simulation, however you call it, of what is happening in the country and all of those things. And the question was this: how come that this movie is now being showed, is airing on Netflix now, at a point where you have the United States saying that, you know, Trump is going to come in gun blazing into the disgraced country Nigeria, according to Trump's word. And then you have all these international bodies also rising up. We had a Congress, the 4 hours, almost 4 hours, I think 3 hours, 30 minutes, almost 4 hours hearing that happened in the United States this week, November 20, in Congress, talking about Nigeria being designated a country of particular concern. That was also there. And the whole thing was, how come all of this is coming together right now? Is there a major programming happening? What is happening now? The movie, I tried to just watch the trailer, and the title was from the beginning of a love life, something that looks big, to the scary event of kidnapping and bandits, and it depicted a man and a wife just having a very, very jolly moment, you know, as they were riding back home from their wedding ceremony, just for them right in time to be kidnapped by this Boko Haram terrorists, or the bandits, or the Fulani Herdsmen terrorists. I think they were depicted as Fulani Herdsmen. So people are saying that why is Netflix doing that movie now, given what Nigeria is going through? But again, there are a different school of thought. But what I got to understand was that movie is already showing in the cinema, and it's been there for a while. That it only just starts, it's just coming over to Netflix at this point in time. So this guy, who is, I would say, a Buhari apologist, and yeah, he calls himself a Buharist, is coming out to say, oh, you know, the reason why some Arewa people are not angry about the Ed movie is not because we are denying the reality of banditry. Okay, far from it. It's about the dangerous consequences of profiling an entire ethnic group and region that has already suffered immensely from years of insecurity. Bro, if you are coming out with this line of argument, nobody's profiling an entire region. Okay, there are terrorists that is coming from the north side of the How. What has the North done to tame the menace, to tame the monster? That's the question you should be asking. So again, nobody's here to give anybody some therapeutic or some therapy session about profiling. Nobody's profiling an entire ethnic group. If you think that they're profiling an entire ethnic group, then maybe you're the problem. Maybe you're the problem. No region has had enormous power in terms of years of rulership in Nigeria than the North. Your people ruled for so many years, military, and also you've had substantial people that have led Nigeria since 1999 from the North. You had Buhari for 8 years. You had Yar'Adua for 2 years. The problem and the question I ask is, why is it that despite all of the stuff that the North has benefited from the common name Nigeria, how come what you guys are giving us, or what is coming from the North, is insecurity? How come? Because we don't need to start calling it out. Everybody knows that this is the challenge that we're facing. In the teaser, the Fulani herder are shown crossing the road with their cattle while a newlywed couple inside a car and other travelers drive by. Then suddenly, the herdsmen pull out guns, start shooting indiscriminately and kidnapping everyone. This single scene paints a picture that is actually facile as it is dangerously inaccurate. What is inaccurate in that? Now, you could say that not all Fulani herders are terrorists. I can agree with that. But for you to say that what was shown in that movie or in the trailer, okay, is wrong and it's a lie, it's a big problem. It's a big problem. And that's the challenge. Because these people are not ready to understand the reality and the truth and call it out. There's a problem. Why has Dubai been able to live freely from all this terrorism is because they understand terrorism for what it is, and they call it out, not just even in Dubai, even abroad. There's some Islamic bodies that cannot operate in Dubai as we speak today. So I don't know what is wrong in what was depicted in that movie. I'm just saying. The truth is this. It is true and verifiable that some of the bandits terrorizing. Okay, the truth is this. Now let's listen to Bashar Ahmed. OON. You know the way they just even put OON, they just give it out now as cookies. Because when you have this guy who is clearly, don't let me use that word, but who is clearly living in denial, wants to tell us his own truth. Let's look at this truth. The truth is this. It is true and verifiable that some of the bandits terrorizing innocent people and our communities are Fulani. Okay, so that was what was depicted in the movie. Like, you came out to tell us, okay, that the Fulani herdsmen crossing, that the movie on Netflix showed that the Fulani herdsmen crossing, okay, with a newly wedded couple was a lie. And then your next sentence agrees with the teaser. We have consistently and openly acknowledged that calling them out. We have openly acknowledged that. Call them out. Condemn their atrocities. Openly. Are you sure about that? Because the last time I heard, Sheikh Gumi didn't call them out. He said that they are your people. You have to work with them. And that's the only way. I said that's not the only way. ISIS fell by not calling them out alone, by applying attacks where it's needed, taking off their leadership where it's needed. Because all these other riffraffs going on motorcycles, wielding guns and all of those would easily be tamed if the leaders in those falling money into these atrocities are being captured and gone after. So again, I'm saying, you came out to say Netflix messed up because they depicted the movie as a lie, but in your next sentence, you're saying that it is true and verifiable that some of the bandits are Fulani. You are even doing it worse. You're not even saying Fulani herdsmen or Fulani terrorists. You're even worse. We have consistently openly acknowledged that and called them out, condemned their atrocities, and demanded that authorities deal with them mercilessly. Yet the overwhelming majority of Fulanis are innocent. 1% of 10 million is what? 100,000. You don't need 1% to destroy a nation. In fact, you just need one Osama bin Laden for the Twin Tower in New York to fall. So what are you talking about? Oh, overwhelmingly numbers of majority of these people are innocent. We never said overwhelmingly majority of these Fulanis are evil. I'm just saying that the bandits and what was depicted in Netflix show was accurate. Now you can talk about, oh, it's a programming. You can talk about, oh, somebody else is funding them. You can talk about, well, maybe the US have a hand in it. You can talk about maybe it's just the extremist ideology. You can talk about so many reasons. But for you here to come out and tell us that something is a lie, but your succeeding paragraph says the same thing. Okay, let's see. Let's go. Yeah, the overwhelming majority of the Fulani herders are innocent, and also, among the very victims that have suffered the most from this terrorist, many have lost their cattle. Okay. Many lost their cattle because their cattle. Hi, welcome to the show. Yeah, thanks. Welcome. Because their cattle were not where they should be. The last time I checked, Nigeria is not the country with the highest number of cattle in the world. We don't see cattle moving all around the streets. We don't see cattle destroying other people's farmland in other climes. So at what point are you saying many lost their cattle? To what? To what? Because when I'm in the Southwest, or I'm in the South, or I'm an Obasanjo that has an Obasanjo farm Nigeria that has cattle and cows, Obasanjo's cattle, Obasanjo's cow, and other big farmers in the Southwest are not moving their earths all around other people's farmland, destroying their edible crops. So what are you telling us? They lost their cattle. What the hell? What does that even mean? Their livelihood and their families. So producing a movie to profile them all, nobody profile them all as armed kidnappers, only reinforces a harmful stereotype that fosters suspicion, resentment, and even violence against innocent people. The innocent people that got kidnapped, because the last time I checked, those innocent people in that school didn't kill any cow. The innocent people in Kebbi State didn't kill any cow. The innocent people in Kwara Church, in Eruku, Kwara State, did not kill any cow. And these are the kind of response that makes you think that this problem is far from being solved. Films and media carry immense influence. Yeah, we know that. They shape global perception and frame narratives, just like Gumi is also trying to frame narratives, especially about communities that are poorly understood outside their region. You know, the person that did that film is a Nigerian, even though he's using Netflix as a platform. So again, I don't understand what this guy is talking about. Instead of the producer of The Earth helping the world understand there is no complexity of Nigerian insecurity. If you kill someone, you should be killed. It's as simple as that. There is nothing complex. You see, we come with all this buzzword of, oh, it's so complex, it's so difficult, No, it's not. It's difficult because people are not ready to face the truth. What is difficult in you telling someone that it is wrong to kill another person? I don't understand. What's the difficulty in telling a group of people that you cannot terrorize people? You can't have cattle, and your cattle are coming into farmland to destroy properties. That's not done. It's not a duty of government to provide a reserve settlement for others. No, it's not. When I'm doing my poultry in the Southwest, I buy the land, I buy the pen, I buy the day-old chicks, I give them the food, I buy the feed, I produce the food for them. And even when I'm doing my poultry in the Southwest, and for one reason or another, I'm not dutiful enough to ensure that the smell is not affecting the neighborhood, the neighbors have the right to go to the ministry, to write the ministry, and tell the ministry that you are becoming a menace in the society, in the community, and they can respond to come and either lock the shops or all these other things. So again, how come we have to treat these individuals separately? The world is changing. The Prince of Saudi, I mean, you can't be more holy or more ideologically sound than the people that are in charge of Mecca, was in the White House just this week telling Trump about how they're building a 50 billion AI infrastructure for the future. UAE and Dubai already has a pact with NVIDIA. NVIDIA is the #1 AI company in the world in terms of chips. All of these Islamic countries that are well-to-do in the Middle East are trying to see how they can move forward with the world. Most of these top tech companies are owned by the Saudi government. A lot of them, they have shares in that. They have a lot of shares in all of this, from Facebook, X. When Elon Musk was buying X, you had money from the UAE, from the Arabs, as part of X, to buy X. So you have all these people doing stuff. They're building skyscrapers. They're turning their cities to monuments and all that. And we're here in 2025. We're talking about some people have cows. Some people have cattle. They don't even know what to do. They don't have grazing. There is famine. Like, oh my God. I don't even know what to say. And you have this guy who is clearly a moron. And he's even an order of Niger. Buhari gave it to him, I know. Coming here to talk what doesn't even make sense. You have children kidnapped in a school, and this guy is saying, oh, there's a way you have to actually portray the Fulani herders that are killing people. And we know that there are Fulani herders killing people, but you just have to make sure that it's not all Fulani. Nobody said it was all Fulanis. Anyways, before producing a film that touches such a sensitive and complex national issue, the producer should have done intensive fieldwork by engaging stakeholders. This is what we do in Nigeria. Trillion upon trillion of naira has been voted into solving insecurity. Nothing has been done. Now Trump is talking down on your country and everybody's mad. I'm gonna play Soyinka's video where he was attacking Trump. I know Soyinka has his own problem with the United States, but I'll play that after this. This is how innocent people become targets of discrimination and harassment. Whoa! Innocent people shouldn't be harassed, but let them keep killing people. So this guy is more conscious about harassment than the real crime itself. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. Before producing a film that touches on such a sensitive and complex national issue, the producer should have done intensive fieldwork by engaging stakeholders, security experts, like the one Tinubu is engaging right now, and the thing is already a mess. Victims, researcher, and even representative of pastoralist group. Mind you, these cattle rearers, they have a very, very strong group. At some point, you need to look into that group to help them capture the full picture. We don't need a full picture as long as people are dying. The ultimate sacrifice is life. As long as people are dying, what full picture do you need again? Oh, how do you need to take it in such a way that the Fulanis are not, nobody is targeting the Fulanis. As far as I'm concerned, the people that went to invade a church during a live streaming service, because if that church service was not live streamed, dude, we're not going to know what happened. If that service was not live streamed and all those terrorists are dumb enough to know that it was being live streamed, we're just going to hear that, oh, they invaded another church. That's what we're going to know. It's called The Herd. The Herd, T-H-E-H-E-R-D, is, I think it's coming to Netflix, December 1 or so. That's the name of the movie. So now we're angry that the movie is showing certain group in a funny way, and nobody even called them all terrorists. We're saying that there are others that are being used. There are also other groups in the country that are being used, but it is what it is. I believe at Ali Nuhu, okay, which is the Nigerian Film Corporation, should have given proper guidance to prevent such damaging portrayal. Now he's targeting the guy that is the producer, okay? In the end, we all are saying, what we all are saying is simple. Tell the story. That's what they're doing in that movie. Condemn the criminals. Oh my God. So what are we doing? Call out the terrorists, but do not cast a shadow of suspicion over the millions of innocent herders who have nothing to do with these atrocities. Our country is dealing with a complex, it's not complex. We only just have stupid people in charge. And the last thing we need is media content that deepens stereotypes and fuel more division. Even though now you have these terrorists that are doing live streaming. They're now streaming their kidnappings, streaming their ransom demands, giving press conferences while you have Nnamdi Kanu being sentenced to life imprisonment. I don't need to like Nnamdi Kanu. I'm not even a fan of his. But what is true, that the justice system is being partial. Because the guy, there were two sentencing just recently this year, a Fulani terrorist, sorry, not Fulani terrorist, a northern terrorist, because I don't know if it's Fulani or not, maybe he is, was given 20 years, and he has actively participated in majority of the bombings and the killings in the north. Another one given 15 years. Okay, but Nnamdi Kanu said some things that were really bad, but they've not been able to actually pin a lot of those things to him actively either supplying weapons, although they said, fine, one of the rules is that he orchestrated some stuff and all of those, but you're giving him life imprisonment. Life. So I'm saying, again, if he's done something bad and you can prove it, that's fine. But I've not been able to see a full evidence. There are videos of, all these people doing all the stuffs, all these hip-hop stuff doing stuffs. Why aren't you also arresting as much as you can and sentencing them? So again, it's all messed up. It's all messed up. I mentioned Sheikh Gumi. Don't forget, I mentioned so many people are incarcerated for the crimes they did not commit. Exactly. It's just unfortunate that if you're talking about crimes committed in Nigeria, let's talk about the politicians. Because the reason why we have this elevated level of insecurity is because those who have been put in charge have messed up a lot of times. A lot of times. And that's where we are right now. So again, the herder, I don't know if I can play, I think it's called The Herd. I don't know if I can play the trailer here because of copyright, because they introduced some songs in it, but I'll just show. This is what this guy is complaining about. Okay, so you see that?
A classic for this kind of day.
So that's it. I'm just gonna, just forward. Then you have this, you see that?
Jesus Christ.
So this is it. This is the trailer.
Oh my God, there's cars behind you. Oh my God.
This is the teaser. You can see that.
Okay.
Maybe this guy writing this tweet needs to talk to people that have been arrested and kidnapped on their way to, I don't even know now, NYC. People are saying that you better don't travel. Because it was quite hilarious. You know what happened? I saw that a few years ago, it was actually as part of the guide for the newly for the new coppers that were trying to travel to their place of primary assignment and all of those, they were actually giving them guidance on what to do if they get kidnapped. And I first thought it was a lie. And it was how you react and behave if you get kidnapped while traveling for your NYSC. That's messed up. So now it's playing on Netflix, okay? Yeah. So again, I don't know how this tagged. In fact, there was nobody here in the movie, you see, the herder, right? I don't see how this is portraying people as being an extremist. I don't. The Herd, that's the name of the movie, is now showing on Netflix. Is a must-watch, a movie that so depicts and encapsulates what we are going through as a nation right now. I'm going to watch the movie and I'm going to come and react to that. Can anyone tell me why Nnamdi Kanu got rid of all his lawyers? I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. And I did speak about that too. I've advised him that as they go to appeal, because they're going to appeal the case, that what he needs to do is to let the lawyers do their job. Because when you get to the appeal court, it's more serious. Again, in the federal high court, you can do whatever you want to do. But the more you move higher in the hierarchy of the justice system in Nigeria, then you get to be more serious. I hope that he allows, saner heads to prevail on him. Because what I saw in that thing was just a trap and he walked right into it. People have different theories about that. Some people are saying that, well, he didn't want to put people on a very hot spot because there was a conspiracy to give him either life or the death sentence, which is true because Showore did say that last week that they're actually considering giving him a life or a death sentence. And truth be told, that was what played out this week. That was what played out. In fact, the Justice Omotosho even said that we did consider that he be given life or death penalty. But we chose life imprisonment for him. And then he went to read Matthew, the Bible, to back up his claim. I was like, what the hell is happening in this country? I mean, that's how crazy it is. Do you think they're going to let Kanu ever be let go? I don't know, man. I think they're going to find a political solution to the whole problem. So now we see Islamophobia is trending. Islamophobia is trending. Let me see. Okay, I was just trying to see if that has anything to do with what is happening in Nigeria. So I think it's more of stuff happening outside of Nigeria. There's nothing like Islamophobia in Nigeria. Every phobia is a result of reality. Okay? Okay, Islamophobia may exist in other countries, but certainly doesn't exist in Nigeria. End of story. Okay. That's that about that. Before I move on, I just want to find, there is this response that Soyinka also gave with respect to this. This is the reality. Right now, I think the search is going on for the students that were kidnapped. And it's quite unfortunate. It's really quite unfortunate. Let me see if I can see Soyinka's, because Soyinka was replying to Trump designation of Nigeria, as a country with a particular concern. Let's look at this. Okay.
It'll be foolish of us to reject aid in resolving any problems, whether economic, cultural, religious. It'll be stupid. If there's a possibility of allying with one another, we should take it. But because I'm ill, or I have some difficulties, I will not accept aid from a madman. That's all I'm doing. And my definition of a madman, a woman for that matter, is one who, when he or she says, I'm helping you, is actually complicating your problems for you on so many levels. We know why he's talking. It's because why he's talking about Trump is because he doesn't want to criticize. I mean, how do you deal with Nigerians like that? So the problem is on so many levels, including especially the level of the citizens of this nation. Open your mouth and say, I'm coming to help you, whether you like it or not. And I'm coming with violence from outside, with poor, almost non-existent analysis of the complexities of where the problem is. And you say, I'm coming to help you, and I'm coming with guns a-blazing. And when we come in, it's going to be fast, vicious,
Hi,
and sweet.
welcome to the show.
Is that the language of somebody who
The
said it's
Eastern
correct?
elites will not let
So,
MKN
what else
go.
do you want me to say?
Yeah, I agree.
Any government has an obligation to protect, to ensure the welfare of his or her citizens. There's no question about it. But at least have some respect for victims and those who are trying to find solution for.
Yeah, actually, the real respect for victim is them coming in gun blazing to hunt down those that are perpetrating that act. There's no way to sugarcoat this. We've been battling this problem for the past 20 years plus. I'm saying at a very accelerated level. Just this week alone. And maybe one of the reasons why this thing is now getting so much attention is just because before now, there's been a lot of talk, there's been a lot of, persuasion, there's been a lot of concerns. But people will be like, you know what? I mean, till today, where is Tinubu giving me the press conference that I need to hear what is really happening? Where is the Senate and the House of Representatives holding every day an hearing, calling all these people, Sheikh Gumi, calling all these people, all the security experts, advising the executive of what they need to do and what they need to do now? Where are the northern groups coming out to say this is the solution? Having a meeting with the bandits and having like a rally, because you see them, they come in with they even come to the peace talk with the guns and with all the chains of the bullets, all the rounds, they wear it and they come for a peace talk. And then you're sending the military the following day to go and hunt them down. It doesn't work that way. You reintegrate, you reintegrate all this other stuff into the system. My take is that America has intelligence about an Islamic jihadist drive down south, coming to affect their interests, not to come and take resources. They want to prevent a jihadist disruption. I don't even understand all this talk about resources, as if all those resources are being judiciously used to the benefit of the populace. When they removed the subsidy, it was the people that suffered the most. The House of Representatives had their salaries increased. I mean, in terms of allowances and all that, they got their new cars. So what are we talking about? Which resources? Because the woman that I saw in that Kwara church, very old woman, trying to escape for her life, I don't know how that resources is helping her, to be honest with you. And people are, oh, there's this imperialist idea. You guys are just subservient to the West. I'm like, I mean, when some of these people talk, it's just so funny. Oh, they're coming for your resources. Is it the resources that has been shared between the North and the other elites in the South? And China is taking as much as it can take. I mean, which resources is America coming to? Even if America comes today to take resources, do you know that $500 million at the minimum is what America gives to Nigeria as an aid? Some people are even saying that some of those aid, they make their way to the terrorists. So what are we talking about? Oh, you need to talk nicely. Don't call us a disgraced country. Yes, I'll be mad if Peter Obi calls Nigeria a disgraced country, but I wouldn't be mad if Trump calls Nigeria a disgraced country, because they are two different individuals. One is seeking to lead, another one is like, what the hell is happening in this country? And I'm not unaware that Nigeria is also making some giant strides in terms of, the refineries and all of that, and there is contribution, and there's competition rather on a global scale, and people don't want Dangote's refinery to succeed. See, it's a cruel world. It's an evil world. So you've got to be tough. And again, I think that Tinubu himself is facing a lot of pressure, and he doesn't even know what to do on security. Please, makes it make sense. They are negotiating with people they are looking for. Exactly. You negotiated with Boko Haram yesterday, and then you're sending General Umbu to go and fight that same Boko Haram. Who is deceiving who? That was why they killed that guy. How come there is no intelligence for them to know that they were being ambushed? When people talk about resources, they forget that human beings are the most important resources. Exactly. We are building a coastal road from Lagos to the south. But the people that would live in that road and travel on that road are not safe. Those resources are illegally given to China, and the profits are being used to fund more terrorists. Now, this is what I heard, and I've not confirmed it. So again, it's alleged that a lot of these hotspots, there are also other resources. Now, maybe not all of them, but some of these hotspots, there are rare earth minerals, there are rich resources that they need. So the only way they can get access is that you have to actually attack those villages. They leave, they're evacuated, they're moved to an IDP camp, and then you have all these miners coming to take over the resources. So who is deceiving who? Again, I mean, respect to Shoyinka, but again, Trump, you can't say Trump is using words like gun blazing and all of that when your leaders are doing nothing, practically nothing, and at some point, you're not going to have people join the army. Because when you see that there's no guaranteed victory, there's no morale to join. Anyways, so that was what he said. Well, Professor, any same person sees through Trump agenda. What is Trump agenda that this guy? Only idiots who wants to see the country burn, like his intentions are good. Again, I'm saying that a lot of this talk can actually ruffle feathers, and it can actually lead to a worse situation if it's not well done. We are full of rotten tomatoes of leaders. I don't even know what the National Assemblies are doing at this point. I don't even know what they're doing. I don't know what they're talking about. Because I mean, what comes out from the National Assembly is either, you know, Natasha and Akpabio is fighting, or people moving from one party to another. There's really nothing of substance coming from that point. So this is the woman I was talking about in the church. Look at her. Is this woman really interested in the resources? You can see that. The church was being attacked. Nobody to help this woman. Nobody's even. She's not getting any social security benefits as an elderly Nigerian woman. So this guy does some security work. She actually went to visit her. You can see the trauma in her face. So that's the woman in the church. You can see under that video, she was trying to escape from when the terrorists attacked the church. She's so traumatized. Imagine you using all your life to work, and at old age, I mean, a lot of old age people in Nigeria are still struggling, still working. And this is what the politicians are giving us. And someone is saying that, oh, why are you depicting the headmen terrorists as terrorists? What an insane thing to say. What an insane thing to say. Again, that's Soyinka's take for you. I'm going to move on. Yeah, we saw the gunmen adopting people from the Kwara State Church. We saw that video. Senator Honor denied being slapped. You see, this is what comes out. This is what our politicians are up to. Senator Honor denies being slapped in PDP clash video. You can see that? The clash happened November 18 at the PDP secretariat in Abuja, where supporters of Bauchi governor confronted allies of FCT minister and the former Benue state governor over leadership dispute. Honor, a Wike ally and a 2023 Cross River governorship candidate, released a statement Saturday insisting that he left before the scuffle and pointing to live stream that shows no such incidents. He blamed political rival for spreading misinformation amid the party deepening factional rift, including recent expulsion of figures like Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde. This is what our politicians are doing. Look at that.
By chronic and mischievous idiots, and by some very cerebral young people.
You see that? This is what our politicians are up to.
It's a place that can mislead you. It's also a place that can teach you. So it's
talking about social media.
With AI now, especially, they can do wonders. Yes, there was a crisis in the PDP national headquarters. But we, especially from Cross River, had found our way out earlier.
You know, I don't know even what is annoying. Maybe the person talking or the people clapping for him. It's just messed up.
If you watch the national streaming, which was live, you would find that there were no gory pictures.
Okay, let me just move on. So there's this video that I think
These
I should.
Fulani herdsmen are jihadists.
This is a very long time video.
Across the nation.
Look at that.
Evil intention by wicked people. But judgment will answer on their head. Is cattle business government business? Because I don't know. You enter in somebody's farm and kill him, and government can't get anybody to arrest. Who doesn't know?
And even if you defend yourself, they're going to arrest you.
Where the thing is coming from. Nekroti Shagaga Akatago Kekoka.
Okay.
Every agent of the devil destroy innocent lives in this country. I declare them cursed. The church has never been confronted in the history of Nigeria like this time. You attempted to boggle CRK from school. Never done.
When you're faced with two evil, you choose the lesser one. Okay, terrorists, jihadists will take same resources and leave you lifeless, but Trump has done more good for Nigeria during his first day. A general is not supposed to be front fighting. It should be at the boardroom with colonels, major planning how the fight will be executed. Captains and lieutenants guide the other rank. Exactly. Yeah, but it also shows that, you know, it's becoming kind of despicable that the thing is becoming a big pressure. So maybe that's why the general went to the front.
To interfere in the governance of the church? Never done. To import Arabic to university education? Never done. But I told you that before. I've been carrying this nation on my heart since 1979 with prayer and fasting. I'm not in your class. God confides in me on the state of the nation. 1992. I mean, can you imagine a general now speaking that is said to lead the defense of their state? A retired general. I saw insurrection coming. Better be careful. So we have this kingdom advancement and establishment prayer opportunities that will keep our prayer altar burning with fire. Nigeria needs prayer. Nigeria needs prayer. Nigeria needs prayer. These Fulani herdsmen are jihadists spreading across the nation. Evil intention by wicked people. But judgment will answer on their head. Is cattle business government business? Because I don't know. You enter into somebody's farm and kill him, and government can't get anybody to arrest. Who doesn't know where the thing is coming from? Nekroti Shagaga Akatago Kekoka. Every agent of the devil destroy innocent lives in this country. I declare them cursed. They just had mass burial for 52 people in Benue. We are not at war. Why mass burial today, tomorrow? Where are the security agents? Who is manipulating them? Takakakoradis. Zeziroto plectonia rotageda. Thank you, Jesus. I was called to the office of a prophet in 1981. I've been working with God very closely on matters regarding the nations of the earth. I won't tell you more than that. Nigeria shall not see war. Every warmonger is judged. Everyone that won't let Nigeria rest, their generation will not rest. Everyone who has made children motherless and fatherless, their own children will be motherless and fatherless. Thank you, Jesus. I saw this coming May 23, 1992. I saw it coming. Documented it. God confided in me. We are dealing with it. There was this sinister document that came on a Company Allied Matters Act, KAMA.
Yeah, why is no one calling out Gumi the terrorist sympathizer after all this attack on innocent people? Yeah, people are beginning to call him out. I believe people are beginning to call him out, but again, you know, maybe he hasn't gotten as much traction because the moment you start negotiating with this guy, they want you dead. So I don't know how your negotiation would actually take that out of the whole equation.
And the same thing that was done some years ago
when the Holy Ghost instructed me to warn the people, it's being repeated here. One, this is one most undemocratic policy forever. One, supervising minister of company act. Let me quickly correct. The church is not a company. You better understand that. One, the church is God's heritage on the earth.
Yes, sir.
1 Peter 5:3.
Thank you, Lord.
Okay.
2, the church is the bride of Christ.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
You want to know how strong a man is, molest his wife. He will look at you in the face and say, you are an irresponsible goat. Now, it's a laborer in your office, but you try to mess up his wife. He vents his anger and wrath on you. Number 3, the church is the body of Christ.
Yes, sir.
Saul, why persecuted thou me? He said, who are you, Lord? I'm Jesus.
Yes.
What you are doing to the church, you are doing to me.
Okay.
That's my body.
Yes.
Every part of a lion is a lion. Do you step the toe of a lion, the tail, and say, oh, it's only the tail I'm touching? Lion, I'm not touching your head, though. Every part of a lion is a lion. Nigeria has to be cautious. Let me tell you something about prophetic office. We are under obligation to give warnings. Ezekiel 3:17-19. We are under obligation to give warnings to the wicked.
Okay.
So that we can be free from their blood.
Okay.
Son of man, I've made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word from my mouth and give them warning from me. When I say to the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning. Amen. Nor speakest to warn the wicked man from his wicked way.
Okay.
The same
Let me just fast forward a little bit and skim. Yeah.
must be somebody
Okay.
that woke up from the wrong side of the bed.
So basically, I
You are
think
not
what he's
aware.
just saying is this, that, you know, and he's been upfront with this. At some point, it's time to really put action to some of these words. It's time to put serious actions to some of this words and call out whoever needs to be called out, and also put the presidency to task. People are like, you know what? Tinubu has made a deal with the devil. And that's what some people are saying. Tinubu has made a deal with the devil. And that's why he can't do anything. Because I know that he should be doing
In order to
something.
become the president of Nigeria, nobody can argue there were deals that went on. But what he did was to play them against each other so that
Yeah,
he
you
could
are
get a seat in
alleging
the
that the
presidency.
President Tinubu had a deal with the terrorists.
Excuse me, it is no longer a secret anywhere in the world.
Whoa. Let
Hi
me see.
everyone, welcome
Let
to
me
this
just
interview.
skim.
This is a
I'll
loaded interview
skim.
at the African Union. Of course, he is the global overseer of Living Waters Unlimited Church
Oh,
and
so he's a pastor.
international
Okay.
coordinator of the Macedonian Initiative. Please help me to welcome one of my fathers, Reverend Ladi Peter Thompson. Daddy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Adiola. And let me say quickly that we want to thank God who has given you a platform and
That's
a voice
got a big,
to
very
speak
big platform. Yeah.
in matters of opinion molding and consensus building. I think it's a lofty platform, and I pray you continue to use it well.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. First and foremost, a lot of people have been asking, what exactly are we dealing with? What is even going on?
And I want to speak without a shred of doubt right now that what Nigeria is dealing with, it is both an ancient and a modern problem. And this is bigger,
Fair enough. I agree.
including religion, but bigger than religion. This is not an Usman Danfodio narrative. It's a more modern, more deadly, more intelligent Hydra, a supremacist agenda that was perfected by Osama bin Laden when he globalized the global resurgence of religious terrorism. This is not merely a Fulani problem. It's bigger than that. There are at least about 5-6 groups that we are reckoning with. It has a head in education. It has infiltrated our security defense systems.
Bro.
Over the years, it has infiltrated governance. It has
as far back as when Jonathan was president, there were reports that when these terrorists want to attack, there are orders given that nobody should engage them. And again, there were also reports, that when these guys are coming to attack, they made sure that there are fighter jets ensuring that no military officer breaks the rank. So no matter what happens, because again, one of the things that I heard was when there was this attack in Kwara, not this recent one, but the ones that happened a few weeks ago, was that actually they had fighter jets, or they had helicopters, maybe not fighter jets, helicopters, coming around, circling over the place before these guys moved in, just a few days before. And at the military, they know where these people are stationed. I mean, when you see them come out for the rallies and all of those, you see them in their bicycles, their motorcycles and all of those. They don't look like people that are hiding in the bush. They have camps. They have different structures. They have where they meet in colonies and all that. There's a big problem. And it's no longer a Nigerian problem. It's no longer a Nigerian problem. They may be attacking in Nigeria now. It's no longer a Nigerian problem.
Treated media.
Okay, so thank you so much, Daddy. But I feel like so far you have been speaking in parables. You are not naming. Okay, so you said 5 different heads. You need to put names. Also, you need to give the evidence of all these things that you are saying.
I told you it's a supremacist agenda that was designed to use Islam as a cover. That's why for the first 15, 16 years, it was targeted only at Christians first. I told publicly that
was what I said. People are now saying that, what about the Muslims being killed? I mean, they've gotten their reply that by whom? But apart from that, I said, this is how this thing works. Okay. Now you could say, when Boko Haram started, it was led by one guy named Yusuf, who was just more like a pressure group. That's the old book. That's not the real Boko Haram we're dealing with today. Remember, when cultism started, the Eye fraternity, all of these guys, Soyinka, the same Wale Soyinka was one of those, it was the one that founded the Pirates. Okay? Soyinka founded the Pirates. It was more like a literally debating society, more like a club that got hijacked and metamorphosized out of a normal pressure group to become a cultism group or a cultist group. So again, if you're talking about these people were just there, they were debating, they're just against Western education. No, that was in the 1999, 2000s, early 2000s when this thing started. That's not what we're dealing with. Then when it started, they were used by the politicians and all to win elections, to terrorize their opponents. That's not what we're dealing with. There are allegiances to various terrorist groups around the world. So when Trump is talking, he's not just blabbing, he knows what he's talking about. There are reports, high-level reports, of some of these workings.
In the later years, towards the end, when they're about to strike Nigeria completely, they will start killing Muslims as well. So I said that about 10 years ago. You are dealing with something that is global, but has a local face. Its objective is to take the whole of Nigeria, not some of Nigeria. Now, it's going to use Islam and the Sharia to take Nigeria.
Is that surprising to you now that they are at Kwara State? Kwara State is just next door to the southwest. I mean, they attacked Owo 3 years ago, 2023, 2022, 2023. Buhari was still president then. Owo is a southwest state, right?
All over the world, its tactics are different.
Who is trying to take Nigeria?
Now, let me put it for you like this. The architecture for the intelligence behind this thing is more than the local intelligence. But they have contacted local actors. You see, there's what they call the ISWAP. The Fulani is there. Then you have the Kanuri-dominated Boko Haram. Then you have Lakurawa, Ansaru, and all those
that is
other
Ansaru.
offshoots
Ansaru, one of the Ansaru guys were the ones that was the one that got convicted, given a 15 or 20 years. There's the Boko Haram, there's the ISWAP, there's all of these groups.
The global template provided by Al Qaeda, many headed, only one heart. And what the idea is to take Nigeria, take West Africa, take the rest of Africa, and then use that resources to dominate the world.
Okay, so it's Al Qaeda that is trying to take over Nigeria through these different terrorist organizations.
An intelligence created by Al Qaeda between 1991 and 1996, Osama bin Laden was in Sudan, perfecting the model of how to globalize terrorism and rule the world with Sharia.
Wow.
And he knew they would have to kill Muslims as well. So what we're dealing with is bigger than...
I mean, when the World Trade Center fell, obviously there were Muslims there. When the bomb goes off, it doesn't ask are you a Christian or a Muslim. But again, there's a targeting of the churches, the priests, the pastors, because they see them as a force against the ability to cover. And then they come in and say, oh, you know what? This Sharia, it's just for Muslims alone. But recently, I don't know if you saw that video that trended on Twitter where an Igbo man was being told to leave his shop because the Sharia court has given a judgment. But I was confused because in my mind, I was like, Sharia is meant to be for Muslims. What's happening? And what we're dealing with should not be taken lightly. It shouldn't. And this plan that this man is talking about is not just a Nigerian plan. It's not just a Nigerian plan. If you go to the UK today, in fact, there's a joke. A joke was made by the current Vice President of the United States of America. He said if care is not taken, the United Kingdom will be one of the first Islamic country with nuclear weapons. That was what he said. And they're not shying away from the fact that they want to conquer the West. So it's not just a Nigerian thing. Right now in Texas, there's some places where they are fighting, or maybe even they've started practicing Sharia. It's that bad. Again, I'm not against Muslims. If you want to do your Islamic stuff, do it. If you want to do your Christian stuff, do it. But why do you have to conquer the whole world in such a brutal force?
Just a religious problem. It's a supremacist agenda covering its face with the Islamic religion.
So for people that may be watching right now, some of them will say we've been hearing about things like this for a long time. Where is the actual evidence? Like what you said Bin Laden drafted in Sudan. Is there a record of it somewhere? Like some people would say, where is the evidence to the things that you're saying?
Okay, one of the greatest weaknesses of the African nations of the world, including Nigeria, is the inability to mathematize inquiry. That is to collect statistics and data, crunch it, and then do what they call concatenation. That is to join all the dots and use that to come to a conclusion and predict things that when they happen, you will not be surprised. If you follow the media in Nigeria over the past 20-something years, there's nothing I have said beforehand that did not come to pass, including when the color of the terrorist, the color skin of the terrorist is going to change in the latter hours, when they are bringing in people from the Maghreb and they're bringing in other people from outside of our borders. So if you want evidence, I will give you some. Number one, let me give you something very simple. There's no place in the world that has responded to an already documented resurgence of global Islamism by claiming to arrest terrorists, and then you claim that you have de-radicalized them, and then you absorb them into the Nigerian army.
That in itself is, I don't even understand what's happening there. This man is on point. He almost had intel that MNK had, and that he had to advocate for the breakup of Nigeria ending. That's why they choose him as a primary target to silence his loud voice. Wow. That's crazy.
You see, that one alone is an amazing case of stupidity. I've never heard of this kind of madness.
Yeah, it makes your head boil, right?
You arrest him. Instead of prosecuting him, you claim that you have changed his mind and you now make him join your megadis. That is, of course, one. Number two, if we collate, I can tell you from the beginning, one of the things I discovered from the year 1999 to 2000 was government complicity. And why do I say so? We have reached a stage now where we are not afraid of anything anymore. In those days, we were more afraid of the enemy within than the enemy without. So today, there can be documents that I will give you, we'll put on display. When you find out that young girls are kidnapped, married off, taken away from their husbands. I mean, sometimes young girls are kidnapped, sometimes wives are kidnapped, married off Islamically. And you will see that if someone will come, the governors were aware. I can give you a case where we had to curb a terrorist attack in Kaduna State. We could tell you the modus operandi. It started with Gumi when he came back from Mecca. When he came back from Saudi Arabia. His first tafsir in Kaduna was a call to violence, to slaughter. The VHS came to me because we have been setting up early warning systems, and this is what a real early warning system is to prevent something. Yeah, so again, one of the things that was highlighted during the congressional hearing this week in the United States was that a lot of this fund, the early warning system, I mean, is being funded by the United States to help prevent and also alert people when all of these terrorist incidents is about to happen. The United States is funding that early warning system using the USAID and all of those. And even at that, I'm like, it's not even solving the problem, but just alerting people. And a lot of this intelligence, when they go out, they're being ignored. A lot are being ignored. When we got it, we translated it into English. And at that time, it was Obasanjo who was the president of Nigeria. Thank God for the first square general overseer, who is now late, Wilson Badijo, who assured me that what we prepared and gave to him was given to Obasanjo in his bedroom. But what they didn't know was that we were still monitoring Kaduna to see whether the arms build-up towards the execution was going to stop. When we saw that it was not going to stop, in fact, this is a good example I'm giving you. I had to call a special strategic session with media, because media is a force expander in this new war form, this Hydra-headed war form. At that time, the man they call Additional, who became Buhari's media, whatever, was at that time an editor-in-chief in one of the newspapers. They gathered together, and I told them, this is the problem. They are about to kill 600 to 900 people. Yeah, that's the name. Yeah, that's the name. They're about to kill 600 to 900 people in Kaduna. And I said to them, we have sent all the information to the army, to all the places. There's nobody stopping them. Wow. Unknown to them, we were monitoring. The Gumi boy went into the SSS office in Kaduna laughing and came out laughing. Wow. When I got that report in Lagos, we decided to call this media meeting and said, look, how do we solve this? Now, there's a headline that we had to put up where they did as if they interviewed the head of Kanu and had to interview Gumi. So which Gumi is this one? Is it the same Sheikh Gumi? Full pages in the newspapers and the new media, and the news blew across the world. The queries came to the president of Nigeria. It was reported to me directly that the Gumi boy entered. Then it was a small boy. Wow, that's the guy. I only hate Christians who drink beer. What is your business with hating Christians? What's your business with Christians? This is the retard. Okay, this is a retard right now that is trying to say Trump should not get involved. This is a guy. This is the same guy. Listen is beyond Tinubu. I don't even know if he has any idea. I mean, he has made a deal with the devil, so what else? What do you expect? Office. This time he didn't come out laughing. He left the country immediately. That was always living in the country. Who has been banned by Saudi Arabia. They didn't allow him to enter Saudi Arabia. How bad is your terrorism that even the Mecca himself, Mecca where the Islam people, the Muslim goes to pray? Because the whole thing is that you don't become an Alhaji except you go to Mecca. How come the country itself says that you are a bad person, even with a tenant
of the Islam religion, they don't want you. This guy can go to Mecca, but he's roaming freely in Nigeria, having meetings with the terrorists, telling people that, oh, they're just this thing, they should know them, you should understand them. These guys, subtlety is what they use to take over. And if you don't see that, you have to know that this is what is happening. This is what is happening right now. I don't still understand why everybody is not being allowed to defend themselves. Because now if you defend yourself against these people, like the obnoxious ruling against that young man, I'm going to try and get his name and get all the details and maybe profile it in one of my shows, is that that guy defended himself against a terrorist and now they're sentencing him to death. It's messed up. It's messed up. Nigeria youth has to wake up. We have to really wake up. Yeah.
When I found out there was no other way of escape, when an Al-Qaeda operative was already appointed as a federal minister in Buhari's government.
Wow.
And I questioned.
Do you mind naming that minister?
What's his name? Something Issa Pantami. How do I know? I supervised an evacuation in 2004 when a young
Patami Mutalab and Hawa Qaid, History of Radicalization and Jihad. At the dawn of the millennium, some prominent Salafi jihadist ideologues devised and adopted a model with a clearly defined agenda. Among those are impressionable young Muslims, especially from wealthy family, local terrorists in Europe and America for radicalization. Oh boy.
Christian was slaughtered in the mosque of ATBU. That's Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University. Okay? Now, when we supervised that, it was this Pantami who was a lecturer in that university at that time, who put a fatwa on certain students because they preached the gospel to Muslims in a university.
Wow.
And at that time, when they killed that boy, we had to go and evacuate the others whose names I spoke to them recently. They are still afraid till now. The young guys. Brought them into Lagos. We made arrangements to take them into other countries where there's better respect for human worth. And then Sunday Achi was the name of the student who was murdered. Okay? At that time, for you to know how this thing works, there was a bishop who was working with the Obasanjo government who went to arrange for the burial of this boy. And when I said, let us make it an issue, they at that time were cooperating because they didn't realize how dangerous this Hydra is. Later, that Hydra attacked that bishop, almost killed him, finished his secretary. Fortunately, they couldn't catch his wife. They maimed him. And today, he's one of the forefront advocates who has realized how dangerous this thing is.
These guys are deadly.
I could really give you many more examples. One of the former head of state who was claiming that there was nothing in his time, I was at a meeting with him in his home in Ota.
That's Obasanjo.
When he gave me his own version of what he believed was going on, I said to him, sir, during your government, they were already building up more and more.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You know, I said this thing yesterday that the foundation, we can always come and say, oh, Tinubu's government, you know, they're not doing enough and all that. The foundation, you know, was set in motion when Obasanjo was in power. Because shortly after I left, and this is what I said Obasanjo was one of the leaders in Nigeria that unfortunately messed us up. Messed us up big time. Because it was a golden opportunity to either put Nigeria on the map or to just make things go status quo. When you've gone through a place, when you've gone through an organization, when you've gone through something, there are certain things you leave that when they look back, they're going to say, oh, these were the people that built this place. Today we talk about Singapore, we talk about Lake Wayon, we talk about all these guys. These were the people in America today. When they say anything, before they say three things, they'll say, oh, the founding fathers. The founding fathers. When we were able to break free from the military government, then they brought a man that was almost dying in prison to be the head of state, to be the president, rather. We felt like, okay, this guy that has been at the bottom of the bottom should understand what time it is, and it messed us all up. So that now when Obasanjo goes for an interview, if they don't ask him the first interview, the second interview, by the time he gets to the third interview, they're going to tell him, can you tell us about the third time agenda? No pun intended. Tell us about the third time agenda. What happened under Obasanjo should have been the best person to put Nigeria on the map globally and lead a very, very great revival and economic growth that the world has ever heard about. He was more interested in using EFCC to arrest the likes of Adenuga or all the people that were his enemy, that even the common electricity Obasanjo couldn't fix. That's why he's not known as an hero. Nobody talks about him as an hero. But when he goes on TV, oh, what happened? And then you were talking about the third-term agenda. I had a very corrupt VP, which is Atiku, who wants to be the president now. Where is it? Where is it? And again, this guy, I mean, is so much, so that he even had the audacity to be preaching to Fayose at his last birthday. I mean, what a lack of self-awareness. And I know that one didn't go down well with Fayose because the fight is just on and on.
More and more. I said, do you remember a meeting you went to have in Northern Nigeria when this thing started? When you left, they slaughtered every member of the family that entertained you. I said they were sending you a warning to back off. Now, some years later, he went for a security meeting outside Nigeria. And I think when they showed him the build-up of what is coming into Nigeria when the final phase comes. Look, the Nigerian army in totality, everybody knows what the number is. The last time they engaged the BH on 3 war fronts, it took almost 2.5 weeks to overcome. So everybody realizes that if you think the Nigerian army can withstand a combined forces of what ISWAP has planned in the future, what is working for us right now is very simple. Nigeria is 220 million people strong. The number of all these people who want to swallow Nigeria, they're not even up to 450,000. Now, the strength of this is...
450,000 is... That's a lot of numbers. That's a lot.
Let me break one nonsense that is going all around. And this is what we have to be careful to counsel the US government about. Anybody who looks and thinks that the Fulani is a primary problem is a joker. The Fulani is not the primary problem. All the combined forces of all these people is not up to 400 and something million. Now, is it this
450,000?
400 and something thousand.
Yes. All these ill-educated, all these what can I say, anachronistic human beings who are wearing loincloths all over the whole place, do you think that they are the real problem? Listen, the Fulanis have told you that they were busy using their six when people came and gave them AK-47s and took their children to go and train. Why don't we realize that it's the intelligence that is arranging logistics, that is arranging safe passage for them? I have boys in the army. We used to pray for them. When they locate...
So what's the lasting solution? Because the US coming in is a temporary solution. Yeah, I don't even know what the mode of operation would be, because you cannot just drop some bomb and then go back. Because you have to also be very careful what the US is doing. You know, you have to be very careful such that you don't do it in such a way that then becomes a major escalation and then turns into a full-out war. So again, I think intelligence gathering, I don't even know, to be honest with you. I'm not a security expert, but we're really sitting on a keg of gunpowder in that country. Patami was the Minister of Communication and Digital Technology who leaked all military intelligence to terrorists as a fellow sympathizer of Islamic Jihad. Wow. I didn't know that. I have to look into that guy. Minister of Communication. And these people have zero knowledge of how to move the country forward.
The enemy position in the Nigerian army, a signal comes from Abuja that they should not attack. The signal will be delayed. After 3 hours, they tell them, now go. The Boko Haram will have left that place.
So
what more proof
are
do we
you
need?
saying that the Nigerian government is involved in what is
What are you saying?
happening?
Even Jonathan, before he left, openly said they are in my cabinet.
Oh, yeah.
Look,
I said that Boko Haram has infiltrated my government, says Jonathan. I remembered this speech by Jonathan. If you want to watch the full video, you go to Diola's page and watch the video. This is my own show. Okay, I run things here. Thank you.
Has been known to collapse nations from within. So there's nothing new about what is going on in Nigeria. It's just like the architecture of thought. I would rather speak to the younger generation, the digital generation who understand programming. Because it looks as if the older generation don't have what it takes don't have the understanding to acknowledge that there's a problem here. And let us come squarely. My eyes are on the president of Nigeria.
Yeah.
He needs to be careful. Yes. Listen to me. I have nothing against him.
I agree with that.
But I can tell you something that is very, very clear to anybody. Now, he is an astute, consummate politician, but he doesn't realize that there's a global problem that he's dealing with. In order to become the president of Nigeria, nobody can argue there were deals that went on. And in an essence, what he did was that he, more than anybody else, realized that there are many factors to the Hydra. In terms of the kinetics, apart from the Fulani, the Boko Haram, the ISWAP controlled, Ansar, Lakurawa and Co. And what he did was to play them against each other so that...
This guy who is insulting OBJ, what have you done for Nigeria apart from say you do podcasts? Be careful. Who told you I do podcasts alone? What are you even talking about? These are retards that just come in here to just get on your skin. You don't have to be here, okay? Again, I appreciate those that are watching. This is a live show. I do commentaries on that. What have you done for Nigeria? What are you even talking about? When you look at what people have done, you look at what they've done and then what comes after them. If you don't know much about something, then you need to research that. Obasanjo remains the singular individual after the military left in 1999 to put Nigeria on the path of greatness. Okay? That's it. The numbers are out. Let people tell you about who knows him the most. Let people tell you about who knows this guy the most. What we're facing today is indirectly also part of what this guy did. I mean, people are now saying even the level of insecurity is worse than even when the military was in government. I'm not advocating for the military to come. Nobody's insulting any other person. I'm just telling you the reality of who this person is.
President Tinubu had a deal with the terrorists.
Excuse me, whether we like it or not, it is no longer a secret anywhere in the world that...
So, but what's the evidence? Some people will say that...
Okay, let me give you talk. Let me just give you talk. Let me throw you one quickly. People don't realize that the Mandela bombing in Niger State, the Catholic church that was bombed in Niger State, the fellow who headed it actually was in Lagos, in Snake Island, 2 days, 3 days, and then traveled to northern Nigeria to take his team to execute. What does that tell you? Now, when he got into police custody, he was arrested and he miraculously escaped. When he escaped miraculously, where was he rearrested? Where did he take up refuge? He took up refuge in the lodge of a serving high-placed government official from Borno State, who happens to now be who? The vice president of Nigeria. So what am I talking about here? Tinubu is one heartbeat away. You see, I feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
In a way, we need to protect President Tinubu's life.
Yeah.
He may think he has the guts to face these people, but I can tell you something, he has totally misread the size of the problem in which he has gone to double his hands.
Okay, so you said a lot of things. These are serious allegations.
Please, don't even bother. I'm the one talking. We are, listen,
yes.
We are the circumcision. We worship God in the spirit. We rejoice in Christ Jesus and we have no confidence in the flesh. I'm a state.
Okay, so again, I have respect for Reverend, and I'm surprised to be on a show like this. It's not my show; it's on Diola Files' show. Okay, so that's it. Again, I don't know what respect. I mean, at the end of the day, the blueprint and the final thing is what happens to the common life. The elderly woman in the church that was attacked, that couldn't even help herself. The people that nobody knows about, if your religion does not care about them, okay, then what is it? What's the essence of practicing that religion? If you don't care about those people that nobody sees, nobody knows, then what's the essence? Put some respect on the name of OBJ. He's the only living elder statesman today. Okay, I'm putting respect to his name. I'm just saying, if I go through a country, and I've been in the affairs of that country for 8 years, and few years down the line, not even more than 4 years down the line, max 8 years down the line, the whole country is in shambles, that we had to go bring in a Buhari in the name of saving the country, in the name of change, then I'm sorry. The way you know about people is the legacy they leave. So we talk about Mandela, we talk about Lee Kuan Yew, we talk about Washington. These are not perfect men, okay? All of them, they're not perfect men. But there were certain things that you would hold on to. So tell me one thing that you can say, this is the legacy that Obasanjo wants to be known about. I'm not the one that interviews him on TV. When he goes on TV every year, they ask him, what about the third term agenda? And he keeps saying he doesn't know anything about it. I'm not the one that interviews him about when they ask him what happened to the power project money, $13 billion. Okay? So again, Rev and I have been on Channel's TV program a few times, and he's a well-respected person in Nigeria. Why are you to be talking like that about OBJ? I'm sorry, OBJ becomes a business of mine when he became the president of this country 8 years ago. You don't, okay, make your leaders an idol. They are there to serve. And as long as I'm not going to be talking about you because I don't know who you are, okay? So I don't have anything to say about you. But OBJ is someone that they're going to go through in history and write about him. He's written some books. Some other people are going to write about him. And in the next 100 years, people will be talking about him for all I care. And they're going to bring what he did well, which I can mention. He did the banking consolidation reforms for you. He did the Pension Act. He did the health insurance. Those are the things that you give him credit for. But when it comes to weightier matters, making sure Nigeria stands on its feet, the electrification of the country, nothing was done. Local government election, we saw what he did with Tinubu in Lagos State with respect to local government. He took the money of the whole state for years without doing anything. Okay? Now, Tinubu is even trying to work on that one. So when you come out to talk, then you should know that OBJ legacy is still better than the last two presidents. Exactly. And that, why so? Why so? Why couldn't we build on that? At least Tinubu was in Lagos. He brought people that could actually manage their affairs in a way. They're not perfect. But I'm saying that you cannot idealize this person. Say what they've done and then say the things that they should have done better. That's the only way we're going to move forward. Respect don't stop you from saying the truth. I don't know. It's just distracting. I'm going to move on.
Man, we worry about the generations to come. I'm not worried about the next election. There's nothing I'm saying that cannot be substantiated, not only within Nigeria, but globally. So let nobody deceive themselves. He's so-called, look, why do you think the federal government is trying to deny an evident truth? And all these people who have collected 30 pieces of silver, all these people speaking from two sides of the mouth, who are just shifting positions like the mendacious president that we have, why do you think they are going on like that? Because there's a plan. If this intervention had not come and the president was allowed to go through his 8 years, who would he hand over the country to? And does he think they are not wise enough to know that if they are able to eliminate him, into whose hand does the country go? Now, this is where the problem is. If the country goes into the hand of the Boko Haram, the Fulani will not be happy. Those who are, look, let me give you a good example. An open secret. When Shekau became
Are you saying that the country will go into the hand of Boko Haram after Tinubu?
Please. If you remember very well, just after he came in, there was some kidnappings, some bombings, and then there was an outrageous demand for one impossible, I can't remember, was it 20 billion or something, impossible amount of money. When that demand was made, it was not really because they felt that kind of money will be paid. It was a direct message, a coded message to the presidency. Everybody is aware now that there was complicity in the times of in terms of the former president Muhammad Buhari. Like I mentioned Issa Pantami. Also, don't forget about that his interesting governor who turned against Buhari in the last minute, who was persuaded to turn against Buhari, the worst governor Kaduna State has ever had.
Oh, yeah, El Rufai.
And I said something when Kaduna State was
Governor El Rufai.
Yes. Look, let's not even go there. Go and look at his tweets in the earlier years. Go and look at his own open admission on television that he left Nigeria to neighboring countries with money to go and sponsor the terrorists who had come to kill in Nigerian territory. Why did they have that kind of confidence then? Was because they knew they had entered governance. Now, as I'm speaking right now, listen, we need to reformat this country.
Yeah, politics
and
first. Yeah, I agree.
Opportunity that has come right now that if we mismanage this opportunity, let me tell you something, even God in heaven will look away when in the south part of Nigeria, in the eastern part of Nigeria, 13-year-old girls end up being raped. Look, there was a blogger recently who was being political, and I want to tell everybody prophetically right now what is coming up for those who refuse to face truth, those who refuse to give value to the lives of others. A young blogger recently said that there's no genocide, I'm a Christian, I don't feel threatened, long live P-Bat. She was one of those who was killed, if the account that is coming is right, in Kwara State in a church attack. Oh, she thought it was far away. Now, this is the fate, sadly, of those
now,
who live in
by opportunity, you're talking about Trump saying that he would interfere with what is happening in Nigeria.
Well, I prefer the word intervention, and let me put it for you like this. For any godly-minded person, the declaration of Nigeria as a country, a CPC, that designation, yes, that designation is a human designation. What we should worry about is that God in heaven himself had already declared Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Listen, according to prophecy, Nigeria is supposed to be the trigger of a global move of revival. Then the other side too decided that Nigeria must become the epicenter of the next greatest satanic attack against the entire world. So the destiny of Nigeria is what we're fighting for. Look, the corruption in Nigeria, I gave an interview when President Tinubu entered, and I did remember saying that it would not be an honor for anybody to serve in this dispensation. After the negotiation, he bought. Look, the mantra of this government is this: whatever problem money cannot solve will be solved by more money. Not realizing that there's a hyper-dimensional problem, a problem bigger than money. Look, let me tell you something, the mistake that he's making. The whole Nigerian budget, when you look at it every year, all said and done, comes to how much? Maybe about $30 billion. How much does the diaspora remit to Nigeria every year?
$20 billion. Yes,
so,
sir.
When you hear Nigerians, you see, when poverty has been weaponized against a nation, people cannot think anymore. The older generation have been reduced.
Where are the so-called big men and women of God in Nigeria? They are all silent, man. I mean, I agree with you on that note, but again, it's not straightforward. I don't know what to say, right? I mean, people that are calling it out, and I kind of agree, at some point that there should be a bigger outcry with respect to what is happening. But some of them have come out to speak, and it's really complex, right? It's just complex. Like it's getting messed up.
Used by the weaponization of poverty. So look, thinking is an expensive thing. So it's not easy. Don't blame the average Nigerian.
Okay.
People are susceptible to money.
So, Daddy, before we round up, you've said a lot of things. Are these things that you can defend, like the allegations of the president,
in my sleep,
the vice president being part of, the Boko Haram?
In whose house was Kabiru Sokoto? In whose home was Kabiru Sokoto hiding?
Yeah.
Before it was picked up. Please.
Was it not Shetima? Was it not Shetima's house?
In Nigerian affairs, we are ready 90-something% to the day of doom. So if we let us miss this opportunity. All those talking from the same different sides of the mouth, they will soon know what it is that we are dealing with.
Exactly what do you want the US to do?
Very simple. There are 4 sets of people who are talking to us in the US. Number 1, those who are genuinely concerned. All right? Number 2, we have those who are looking for government appointments.
Okay.
Number 3.
In the US, looking for government appointments in Nigeria.
Government appointments in the US. They are careerists.
Trump's administration.
Then there are those who know that money, US dollars, follows policy. So if not for Trump, they will not be speaking up. They are there. And then there's a last set of zealots who are so zealous that they reject God's wisdom. Those ones are what we call sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity.
Yeah,
Equally as
Shegumi
dangerous.
is
So this is what I want us to do.
culpable.
If Nigeria cooperates properly with the window that God has used Trump to open, there's something that I cannot talk about in detail now. It's called the flight of two eagles. There's a bald eagle in that vision that can rescue the green eagle. Now, if we are able to eliminate the unnecessary voices that are fouling the waters,
I need to move on.
Both within those against us and those for us, and remain only the voices that are looking forward to the future of Nigeria, let me tell you what will come out of it. Number one, Nigeria will become a nation. Watch this, where the value of life will be something else. We will leap from quantum leap to the forefront of global civilization, all within 4 to 8 years. Number two, the Nigerian foreign exchange right now that is about 1,600 naira to the dollar can be brought down to at least 1 to 250 to 350 naira to the dollar if we cooperate properly with understanding to tailor the American response in a way that will be profitable to the global community.
So, have you discussed any of this with the Nigerian government? Have you presented
a government that is busy denying? Listen, the moment the Nigerian government is ready, even for President Tinubu, there's a way of escape for him. I fear for his life. If you do a proper concatenation and look at the analysis of what's on the table, and the way these things are going, he can't trust anybody around him.
Yeah, and again, it is the Yoruba and Hausa that has been ruling Nigeria. They're responsible for all the mess we are in today, not the Igbos, Benin, Urhobo, and let everyone go his separate ways. I mean, I've been having all this talk about separation, especially I think that got ratcheted up with the rulings on Nnamdi Kanu, and you can see how all these things tie together. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Northern governors, they took Jonathan out. I mean, Jonathan, to be honest with you, was not ripe for that environment. Jonathan did, even he said he was in a cage when he was the president. And that was why when he saw an out, after losing to Buhari, he just was, you know what, I cannot do this anymore. Yeah, he couldn't. There were a lot of things that, you know, during Jonathan's time, these people also, they kind of, you know, got so much emboldened. I mean, they took over almost 22 local governments. Even before the election, remember they had to move the 2015 election forward just to curtail them a little bit. And I was like, these people that were just going all around every place, all around the local governments and the likes, how come just a few months to election, they were able to pull them back to at least a minimum of 1 or 2 local governments? And I just hope and pray, and also we keep, you know, just sharing this, that whatever solution comes in doesn't make things worse. Because when you have these people all around the edges of the country in Kwara State, who tells you that they are not even in Lagos State? They're almost everywhere. And again, this is what I think, and this is my theory with respect to Tinubu, is that he's thinking that he can actually wiggle his way. And I was saying it, I said it yesterday, I said it this week, that the Tinubu's government is kind of under a siege. Because how come when Trump spoke, you just saw this sporadic attack everywhere? For you to know that the absence of peace is not just the absence of, that the presence of peace is not just the absence of conflict, it's the presence of justice. So the fact that they were kind of trying to, you know, maneuver their way, and then Trump spoke, and then you see all this attack coming out at the same time, should tell you that something is actually brewing behind the scene that I don't know about. My advice is run away from Nigeria with your family before. Everybody wants to run away. Somebody said something during the hearings that happened in the U.S. Congress, that the Nigerian people love to have a relationship with the United States. I said, no, the Nigerian people actually want to leave Nigeria and go to the United States. But everybody can run. 230 million people, where would they run to? I remember when I remember what MNK says, that don't let Biafra go. Nigeria will be the worse than Somalia, that people should start getting visa for Somalia now. And wow, and that was 4 years ago. Wow, that's crazy.
Because there's an option open to them, which is aware of. Okay? But Nigeria cannot afford that option.
What's the option?
Well, the point is this: if he cooperates with us, we have been studying this thing, we have been watching over this. We will create a Nigeria where no Muslim, no Christian is oppressed. Now, let me tell you this: when the generation of Awolowo and Zik and Co, when they got independence from Nigeria, Pax Britannica did not allow us to lay a firm foundation for a prosperous country. The divide and rule included religion. Now, this opportunistic hydra created by Osama bin Laden is using that opportunity. Now, if only Tinubu will cooperate, I will tell him that the first friend of Nigeria in America, first of all, the olden days, was a man called Frank Wolf. Next is Chris Smith, Congressman Chris Smith. After him, we want to thank people like Louis Gohmert, we want to thank people like Ted Budd, Peter Ricketts, we want to thank people like Josh Hawley, we want to thank people like James Langford, then Ted Cruz.
I know all those
but
guys.
Most of all, this is better than any Nobel Peace Prize. We need to thank God for the two tweets that Donald Trump, they are prophetic.
So, but since Trump said that he was going to get involved, the killing has actually gotten worse, and the government is not doing anything really. The young government is not doing anything.
Needed to happen to prove to the Nigerian that the government is so compromised, it does not care about your life. All it cares about is to win the next election.
Yeah, I mean, and Tinubu already has the next. Tinubu already has the next election. The way the opposition party has been destroyed, you guys would respect how sure USA and UK government is not do or die affair to protect their citizens and their government interests. I mean, that's a fair thing, and that's also the fair. I mean, people have already hinted on the fact that there could be this idea that they are coming in for their own interests too. But that being said, if terrorism engulfs the whole nation, then it can be exported to other countries too. It can be exported to other countries. And we cannot also deny the fact that some of these things happening also has some, possibly international backings, okay, which I think it does. It's not just a Nigerian thing, because in Nigeria that I grew up with, even though there were clashes, it wasn't to the extent of this kidnapping and bombing and all that. All these things started late 90s and the early 2000s. And because our politicians were corrupt, they faced their corruption while all these ideologies and all these terrorists were just gaining more ground. Now they're kind of entrenched. I think the life sentences of Nnamdi Kanu, I think they're going to appeal that thing. I don't think he's going to go to jail for life.
Very be the last election that is really democratic in Nigeria.
This is a lot for people to digest.
Yeah, this is a lot for me too.
In the course of this half hour, you have implicated the president, the vice president, the entire cabinet, the military is compromised. A lot of these things, like the military being compromised and so on, people know. You've talked about El Rufai, you've talked about Sheikh Gumi, the minister that you mentioned, Issa Pantami.
What does he want to respond? His articles were on the Al-Qaeda website, globally exposed in France, everywhere. All the intel that has been given to Nigeria from foreign nations has been neutralized by the Nigerian government all these years. Who can deny that?
Wow. I'm really hoping that the Nigerian government will respond. I'm really hoping that they would respond to this.
We have gone past that level. Where we are now, how do we...
It's crazy.
We save Nigeria? How do we salvage the nation? How do we create a future for all our children across the entire nation? Don't let the blood of the people who have been slaughtered through the years, more than 20-something years, we should not let their bloodshed be in vain. Unmerited suffering is often redemptive, and that's the way we should go now.
Thank you so much, Reverend Ladi Peter Thompson, for your time. I truly appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much.
Wow, that's great. I mean, that was a whole lot. I'm going to go back and listen to this privately and then get all the stuff he spoke about, all the references, I would try and actually work on that, because this needs to be really, really be studied. I mean, some of the information that came out, I didn't know. Yeah, what's the problem with people saying the US is coming to loot our resources? The resources are gone, bro. And that's the thing. So for those who are saying that if you want to listen to the full stuff, just go to Adiola Fayoun's channel. The title is Tinubu made a deal with the terrorists. His VP is an accomplished security expert. And again, you can debunk that. You can You can actually, say what you want to say about it. The interview is there for you to listen to uninterrupted by me. I mean, I just have to do that because this is my own show and I saw this. And in the light of the recent happening in Nigeria today, I just had to bring that in for my viewers, just to also bring some perspective, because people are talking. People are still talking about, let's go to the roots of terrorism in Nigeria. Pakistan, Iran, Yemen are all involved. I agree. Grenada has been put away. I wonder what or who will stop them. They are on the verge of overrunning the country. It's quite crazy. I mean, I must tell you, it's really becoming something that is evasive, just like cancer. They're everywhere. I was surprised when I read yesterday that there are 950 locations where you have all these bandits in the southeast. 950 locations in the southeast. In the southeast. I'm not talking about the north. Wow. I don't even know. I mean, whoever is contesting for presidency, I don't even know how that will work. And it's getting so ridiculous. Anyway, I have to go now. I'll be coming back later today. Thanks everyone for watching. If you've not subscribed, please, we're trying to build this community to cover events in Nigeria and the world. I mean, there's still some events that happen in the United States that I'm going to cover today also. And that's it. We'll see what happens. Thanks for the compliments and all that. 950 location with nothing less than 500 fighters in every location. You kidding me? 500, that's almost 500,000 fighters in the southeast alone. Wow. Anyways, I just pray for those that were kidnapped this week that, they're found and released on time, and whatever it is that is being done, I think it's important that, we act fast, because it's getting to that point. It's just like when you want to kill a snake, the last few minutes are always very dangerous. And that's what is happening. Thanks, everyone. And then I'll catch you later.